They thought it was just another derelict ship drifting through the void, cold, silent, long abandoned. The salvage crew was prepared for broken systems and old tech, maybe even a few dangerous traps. What they weren't prepared for was what they found inside. The ship wasn't alien, not completely. Its design bore strange symbols, yes, but the tech was familiar. Human familiar. And deep within its core, sealed in a reinforced stasis pod, was a man. A human. Alive. But this wasn't just any man, and this wasn't just any ship. It came from Carnath 15, a planet so hostile that the Galactic Council labeled it a Class 15 Deathworld, the highest possible rating. No known species had ever set foot there and lived. So how was this ship not only operational, but clearly designed to come from such a world? And what was a human doing inside it, speaking perfect galactic common, with battle scars that told of something far worse than war? The answers would shake the galaxy. Because this wasn't humanity's first contact. It was their warning shot. The signal, the distress signal, came from a region no ship had ventured into for over 200 years, the Carnath Expanse. It was a place of legends, of ancient warnings and failed probes. No planet there had ever been. Charted successfully, and those that tried never returned. Even the Galactic Council had blacklisted it, classifying its central planet, Carnath 15, as a Class 15 Deathworld, the highest and deadliest planetary classification. A place so hostile that the very soil was known to emit corrosive gases, and the atmosphere was filled with storms that could strip the hull from a warship in minutes. And yet, the signal was unmistakable, a feint. Repeating SOS in Galactic Common Dot, it was picked up by the long-range array on the Helios relay station, located at the edge of Council space. The message wasn't old. The encryption was human. The signal was live. Within days, an exploration crew was dispatched on the salvage vessel Ventrix 7, captained by Drex Haloran, a seasoned veteran of over 50 deep space recoveries. What they found on the outskirts of Carnath 15 defied all known science. The ship, floating in a stable orbit around a dead moon, was a vessel of impossible design. It spanned nearly 3 kilometers and appeared to have grown rather than been constructed. Metallic tendrils wrapped around the central core that pulsed faintly with an unknown energy source. Its hull shimmered in the dark, absorbing scans and distorting light. But what truly chilled the crew was its markings. Embedded into the structure were insignias from Earth's Terran Expeditionary Corps, a human military division that had been disbanded over a century ago. They launched probes. The ship responded by opening an airlock, not forcefully, almost like it was welcoming them. "This isn't a trap," Drex said, standing on the command deck. "It's a message." They entered cautiously. Inside, they found gravity, breathable, atmosphere, and systems still running after what seemed like decades of silence. In the heart of the ship, within a heavily shielded chamber, was a stasis pod. The biometric readouts showed a living occupant human, male, age 34. And then, the pod opened. The human, his eyes adjusted slowly to the dim light, scanning the crew with a calm, almost clinical detachment. He stood without assistance, muscles intact, posture military. His first words were not a greeting. "Where is command? Has Operation Emberfall been completed?" The crew exchanged looks of confusion. Drex stepped forward. "You're aboard the Ventrix 7. You've been in stasis for what looks like 112 years. Operation ... What?" The man blinked. He looked around, then calmly said, "Initiate shipwide lockdown." Code Echo 7. The vessel obeyed. "My name is Commander Elias Kale, Terran Expeditionary Corps. This ship is classified as Judicator 1, and if you found me, then the galaxy needs to listen very carefully." Deathworld Doctrine Elias Kale explained what most in the galaxy had only heard in whispers, that Earth wasn't just surviving as a Class 8 Deathworld. It was evolving, adapting, and learning from the universe's worst conditions. Humanity had begun sending elite units to even more hostile planets, and Carnath-15 was their final testbed. The goal, Elias said, wasn't just survival. It was supremacy through adaptation. The Judicator-1 had been a prototype, a semi-organic ship capable of regenerating, defending, and even learning. It had been grown in orbit around Carnath-15, fed by both human ingenuity and alien biotech discovered deep beneath the planet's crust. Operation Emberfall was meant to test how long a human team could survive on the surface while maintaining a secure outpost. Elias was the last survivor. Carnath-15 didn't kill us. It changed us, he said. Those storms, we mapped them. The toxic soil? We filtered it. The gravity wells? We built engines that danced through them. The crew of the Ventrix 7 was stunned. Class 15 was supposed to be impossible. But humanity had used it as a launch pad. The artifact there was more. Elias led the crew to the central chamber of the Judicator. There, embedded in a crystalline sphere, was what he called the seed. This, he said, is why I was left behind. This is a message, not just for Earth, for everyone. The seed was a living archive, pulsing with memory strands from dozens of alien civilizations. It contained knowledge on wormhole dynamics, zero-point energy fields, and a complete stellar chart of every known Deathworld in the galaxy. We cataloged them, we studied them. Earth is no longer the most dangerous, but we might be the only species willing to walk into those places and come out stronger. Elias explained that while most galactic civilizations avoided danger, humans had always been different. They climbed Everest, dove into the Marianas Trench, colonized Antarctica. Deathworlds were just the next frontier, the Council's dilemma when the Ventrix 7 returned to Council space. They brought the Judicator-1 with them. The Galactic Council convened an emergency meeting. What they had learned shattered centuries of assumptions. You mean to say, one ambassador asked, that humans have not only survived the most dangerous planet we know, but they have used it to breed warships? Drex nodded. That ship is grown. And it's not the only one. Elias told us there are more. Dozens, hidden in deep space, waiting for recall. The Council panicked. Some called for sanctions. Others demanded a cease of all human exploratory efforts. But the data couldn't be ignored. Humanity had achieved what no other species dared. Echoes of Carnath Kale was granted diplomatic status and allowed to speak directly to the Council. In a moment now considered historic, he stood before the Assembly and declared, "You fear us because we do not fear death. You avoid chaos. We master it. You built a galaxy on caution. We built a civilization on challenge. We don't seek conquest. We seek evolution. But if you try to cage us, know this. Carnath-15 didn't kill us. It forged us." The speech was broadcast across thousands of systems. Public opinion shifted. While some still saw humanity as a threat, others saw them as pioneers, trailblazers. Of an unforgiving universe, the future awaits in the years that followed. Alliances shifted. New programs were created, pairing human explorers with alien scientists to chart other Class 10 to 15 worlds. The Deathworld Initiative became the most ambitious project the galaxy had ever seen. The Judicator, one remained in orbit above a secure moon, studied by hundreds, revered by more. It became a symbol of resilience, of curiosity, and of the thin line between destruction and discovery. As for Elias Kale, he returned to Carnath-15, not to fight, but to lead. A new generation of humans had arrived, not soldiers, but students. They would learn from the planet, just as Elias had, and from the black winds of Carnath-15 to the high halls of the Galactic Council. One truth became undeniable. Deathworlds did not frighten humanity. They inspired them. The awakening of the Vault's Carnath-15. was not just a crucible of survival, it was a vault. Beneath the acidic rocks and silicate storms, ancient constructs had begun to stir. The seed on the Judicator was only one of several devices humanity had discovered on the planet. But the vaults? They were something older. Precursor technology. Elias and his team, now joined by representatives from half a dozen species, descended into the abyssal trenches of Carnath 15's southern hemisphere. There, they uncovered monolithic chambers with gravity-defying pillars and silent machines that responded only to human DNA. It was as if something or someone had prepared for humanity long before they ever reached the stars. This planet didn't just test us, Elias murmured. It chose us. When activated, the vaults revealed star charts showing galaxies far beyond the current scope of exploration, civilizations that had vanished before the Council even formed, and structures that bent the known laws of time. The others are watching. As the vaults were awakened, something else took notice. Across distant sectors, long-dormant observation drones blinked to life. Ancient satellites, buried in asteroid belts, rotated toward Carnath 15. Signals of an unknown language echoed across deep space. A council meeting was called again, this time not to judge humanity, but to decide how to prepare. Because whatever had once ruled the Deathworld, it was now watching. Elias stood again before the council. You feared what humans might become. But now we must ask, who designed the Deathworlds? And why are they waking up now? No one had answers. But for the first time in centuries, every species was united in fear, not of humanity, but of the unknown intelligence that had shaped the galaxy before any of them.